You know what bumps me out is that we have 6 or 7 albums left.
We have 7 albums left, Alex.
7, yeah.
And this is where I say, take your pick for worst. I have my worst. I have what I think without a doubt is the worst. I believe you, and I'm not going to argue with you if you say a different one is worse. From here on out, I have no love. There is no love. There is no defending. After this point, there is no more defending this band. Welcome to Every Album Ever with Mike and Alex, a podcast where we listen to every single album in the world, one artist at a time. That's a whole new discography per episode. My name is Michael Mansour, and I'm joined, as always, by my very in a good mood for the next few hours co-host Alexander Volts. Say hello.
Hello. I'll be in a good mood for at least 20 to 30 minutes. Then it's,
And then it's something else. And then it's something else. And today we will be discussing every album by
Soul Asylum. This is Cruel and Unusual Punishment.
This was requested on Patreon by Patrick. Patrick, who, by the way, when requesting this, noted in his message saying, I love when you guys are in pain. I could hear the genuine pain in your voices when it's a bad one. Which I thought, like, wait, hold on. He's seen the show. He knows what we like and what we perhaps don't like. Mm-hmm. And then went on to request, suggest other really, thrash bands, grindcore bands, like really interesting stuff, which is already very confusing when you think about this band, and then something that we normally would cover. Just take a look at the episodes we've done. And then, for those who don't know, because this has been an ongoing this episode has been an ordeal. All right, we meant to do this.
Supposed to come to you guys in the summer.
It was supposed, in the summer. And we started it. We started work. We were like maybe almost halfway into the full discography, mm-hmm. And then Soul Asylum announced that they were releasing a new album in fall, it's out now, slowly but surely. And that's the name of the album, by the way. It's out now, and we talk about it in this episode, but we thought, if they're putting out an album in a couple months, we have to so we listened to half the thing and took a bunch of notes. We had to put it on hold, came back to it, picked up where we left off, re-listened, had to re-listen to the old ones all over again. And about halfway through again, maybe it actually passed the halfway. I was probably like maybe 6 or 7 albums into the whole discography. My lovely lady friend said, how long has this guy been a patron for? This doesn't seem worth it. And I said, that's a good question. That's a good question. No, it's a fair question. So we have a rule on Patreon, because if you want to suggest artists and discographies like this for us to cover, you go to Patreon. That's how you do it. It's very cool. The rule on Patreon to prevent people from scamming us, which is a very fair rule in my opinion, is that you have to be pledged when we get to the request on the schedule, because we have a lot of requests and it takes a long time to get to them. And we're not going to do this shit for $10. That's insane. That's insane. This thing takes 80 hours for us to do the homework for. So that's the rule. You got to be pledged when we get to the request. I get notified when someone cancels their membership. So it's easy. It's easy. I see someone that, okay, I'll check their name. There it is. If they have a request, I'll take it off the list. I never got that with Patrick. So it's fine, right? Fucking not fine, dude. Not fine. You know what happened? Alex?
Patrick hasn't been a member for a while, I'm guessing.
I went to his message. It seemed all in the up and up. I looked at how much it said he'd been pledged for like a year. It says he's been pledged for a long time, but the money didn't add up. Turns out his card was declined like 3 months into his membership. We should not have done this episode at all.
And it just didn't kick him out.
I don't know though. Maybe he has access, maybe he doesn't. All I know is it didn't tell me that he was.
Patreon didn't do its job of being like, hey, this guy, his card is being declined. Yeah. Also, if you can't, we still love you if you can't pay.
Exactly. Don't give a fuck if you can't pay.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to torture ourselves with the spoiler. If you like Soul Asylum, you shouldn't be here. If you like the song Runaway Train and that's it, maybe you stay for that album. But good Lord, there are 13 albums. There are 13 fucking albums, Alex.
There should be 7 at most, and maybe even that's too generous.
You're being generous. I would say 4.
Well, like for me, there should only be 4 personally.
Okay, but for the world.
Yeah, putting my shit aside, 7.
So
or 6 maybe. I'll figure out when I get there.
So you're saying, yeah, I get what you're saying. It's funny because this isn't our band. I didn't realize this was not my exposure to Soul Asylum was the song Runaway Train, which I didn't even know by name. I only know it because of that episode of It's Always Sunny where Dee's drunkenly singing it to the hitchhiker guy. That's the only reason I know that song. And then it was in Clerks, in the hockey on the rooftop scene, which I've seen that movie maybe 100 times, never even thought about what song was playing on that scene.
I thought it was one of their more punk songs for some reason.
It's not an album song, that's for sure.
You're just talking about the band. Okay.
Yeah. That's the only thing I know about the band. So I don't know what I'm getting into. And yeah, for this is not like an every album ever type of band. I mean, we cover some shit we don't like, but holy God.
Not only is this not an every album ever, or not in every album ever band, that's a mouthful. This is the most like egregious work I've ever done for a one-hit wonder. And I was like, no way. They have so much material. No way they're only one hit. This is fucking insane. But
you're forgetting the time they played at the Clinton inauguration or whatever the hell it was, whoever the hell it was in the 90s.
Man, that's 90s as fuck.
Sure is.
I will say, wasn't expecting the early part of their career, which is actually enjoyable and right up her alley.
100%. I think that's why Patrick requested it, because of the early stuff.
And then he wanted to see us. He did mention
that in the message. The problem with that is purely the remaining 11 albums.
The ends don't justify the means.
Here's my bold asshole claim, because if you already know if you hate us or not, especially me. My claim is that I have, for my worst, I have what I think is the worst album. We play a game here. We pick our best album, our personal favorite, what we think the worst album is, as well as their least favorite, our least favorite, if we have a personal bias. What I'm picking as worst is my worst, what I think is the worst. I would accept up to 7 different albums for worst. That's how bad I think some of these are.
Fair. I thought I was going to have a difficult time picking worse, but something shone through like sunlight on like a gloomy day, and I was like, this is the worst of the bunch. It's not like I hate it the most.
Yeah I felt the same way about one particular album where there's something about it that it really it struck like an anger chord in me almost. Like other ones, like I'll either bore or like, oh, that's just a bad song. This is just not my bag at all. I have no idea why. But just like one album was like, fuck this. Like,
yeah, and also insane. We get to a point where there's only like one original member left.
Okay, yeah, that's not surprising. It's all Dave's show.
Yeah,
what's his name? Dave Perner, and. Yeah, revolving door lineup and lengthy career, but they started. It was another thing that completely threw me off, and I'm sure threw you off too. Is that they started associated with bands that we like Hüsker Dü and the Replacements, which you've both done episodes on both those bands like a long time ago. Came up in Minneapolis, part of that scene, a little bit more punk oriented. It's like, yeah, that's absolutely 100% up my alley. That's fun stuff. That's super fun stuff. Then somewhere down the line, they just sort of chose this one thing and then stuck with it.
Man, yeah, if they broke up 88, I think they would be talked about in the same breath and fondness as the Replacements and Hüsker Dü.
Hüsker Dü. Alex has famously pronounced it wrong forever. Now I know it does it on purpose.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a fascinating, interesting discography because it was unsurprisingly reminiscent for me of Steely Dan, where it's like a band that people like, but it's so foreign to me that I can't even wrap my head around like, I forget why I like music when I'm hearing it. Like, oh, this is awful. I hate this so much. It's so not made for me that my brain can't even wrap around it. Like, how is this enjoyable to anybody? The way normal moms think when they hear like fucking extreme metal. Like that's my reaction to this.
Similar towards, midway to the end. Like, how does a person sit down and think this is acceptable? Because it's fucking not.
Yeah, but by the end, there was just no hope. No. So another one of our rules that we've had since the beginning of the pod is that we listen to every album 2 times, once to take notes, and another time to like just get it. Maybe we change our mind. It happens all the time where we feel differently on multiple listens. This is for this band. I texted Alex and I said, I don't know how far you are into this discography, dude, but one listen for the rest of this, because we're not getting anything out of it. Like the same way I felt with like Destiny's Child. Destiny's Child isn't made for me. I have no business talking about Destiny's Child. I don't want to fucking listen to Destiny's Child. I'm doing it because someone paid me to. I'm not going to, multiple listens is just going to hurt my day. No. So half of this discography I only listen to one time, the other half multiple times. And I feel like I didn't lose anything out by doing that.
No, there is little to no substance at a certain point.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal. But even having said that, we still have some notes from our boy Tom Osman, our lovely history guy who does a bunch of research for us, gets us interviews, gets us albums, very fun stuff. He got some stuff from enterthesoulasylum.com, which I imagine is their official website, if I had to guess. And then another piece from Trouser Press. Just general backstory stuff, nothing too crazy. So like we said a little bit earlier, they're from Minneapolis. This piece from Trouser Press says, born into a Minneapolis scene, then dominated by 2 great bands at the peak of their artistic powers, the young Soul Asylum, formed as Loud Fast Rules, which is the original name of the band, was shaggier than the Replacements and less pop savvy than Hüsker Dü, which I will agree at first, because they were interesting. They were punky. I mean, the first album was produced by Bob Mould.
Yeah. I was so excited this past summer to take my trip to Minnesota and listen to some Soul Asylum in the motherland. And I didn't get to do that.
Mm-hmm. That's a huge bummer. I mean, especially summer in Minneapolis, that sounds very nice.
Let's save the trip. It can go either way. That humidity is fucking... Yeah. Have you ever been sweating in the rain?
Yes. Yeah. Florida. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty gross. Yeah. But yeah, Bob Mould produced, I believe, the first 2 albums, and you can feel it. You can feel it. There's I don't know what it is about Minneapolis. They just have this thing, this energy around their albums.
It's very distinctive for some reason. Like, you can tell all 3 of these bands probably hung out with each other.
Yeah, there's like a type of progression. Even I wouldn't even say that. Sometimes you can spot a scene by the types of chord progressions that they do. Something as specific as that. It's not even like that. It's something about just the overall like mood of it. There's like I don't know. It's something ethereal, something otherworldly about this particular scene.
And that's how you get Prince.
Yeah,
it is very interesting where, like, Norway is infamous for black metal, and Minnesota winters can be pretty rough, although they're not as isolated. Yeah, or isolated from the world, obviously. But they don't all, like, Hüsker Dü, Replacements, and Soul Asylum. Nothing about these bands gives off like you are stuck inside for 3 months out of the year.
Not at all. No, there's a funness to them. There's like a liveliness to them. There's a lot of energy usually. And yeah, there's pretty strong pop sensibilities in a lot of them too. I mean, not just Hüsker Dü, because they've got very poppy, but even like Replacements had this. Yeah, it was poppy, but it was just Replacements poppy, which also just felt like Minneapolis poppy. And there's like little hints of that in the early stuff here, where it's a little bit more aggressive and a little bit more rougher on the edges, but it still has that lightness to it. There's a lightness to the scene, which I always thought was very fun. Yes, so like I said at the top, we got 13 albums to discuss. It's gonna be a long episode. We're gonna try not to be too thorough with some of the later stuff because we've already made our feelings pretty clear at this point. First album came out in 1984. Most recent this year, baby, 2024, and more accurately, as of this recording, like 2 weeks ago or something is when it came out. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's pretty much. You ready to go?
Yep. I've been ready since like July.
Good point. Okay, already this first album has a very complicated, convoluted title. So this is 1984's Say What You Will, or Say What You Will, Clarence, Carl Sold the Truck, or Say What You Will, Clarence, Anything Can Happen.
Nice.
Hey, man.
Not bad.
Not bad. This kind of rules. Look at those drums, dude. How herky-jerky is that shit? That's some Captain Beefheart shit. Here's the Minneapolis.
Also, the vocals, I kind of...
They're more harsh, though. They're like a lot more harsh. Even though Bob Mould had a very gruff voice, this guy sounds like...
It's like metallic noise in an almost like consumable package. Almost.
It's very consumable. Without a fucking doubt, best personal favorite. I mean, this.
Wow, wow, wee, wow.
I think this is a great album. I love this album. I was so excited when starting this discography. This is the first album. Hell yeah, dude! I thought this was gonna be great.
Oh no! I knew the train was gonna be running away sooner rather than later. Very good album though. Cool shit. If I had to listen to any of the albums multiple times, I'm glad it was these ones.
Yes. Yeah. This is their craziest album, their most chaotic album, their most diverse album, their weirdest, their punkiest. It's all the things that I enjoy when hearing something for the first time, like a bunch of random shit that I'm not expecting. This has it all.
I don't know about weirdest.
Really? What's not weird about fucking Voodoo Doll?
It's weird, but I think like some things later on are just kind of took me aback more.
Okay.
Yeah, that is like a unconventional drum beat for a punk band though. Love the guitar solo on Voodoo Doll.
Voodoo Doll rules. It's got a tinge of funkiness on it. It's very fast and snappy. But yeah, track 2 is
Long Day.
Yeah, Long Day comes in. It's a little bit more on the post-punk side, which already from that point I'm thinking like, all right, this is going to be not just because the opening track. It's like, oh, it's very punky. It's herky jerky and stuff, but it's still punky. And then you get more post-punk energy, and then you got some twang and some rock and roll tinge on Money Talks, which I thought like, man,
yeah,
this is already a very interesting album.
I was like, oh, they're working in like old timey rock and roll stuff, and then I was like, that's just rockabilly actually.
But it's the drum choices are fantastic, and it's got great energy, and yeah, it's very spastic and snappy in a way that I find a lot more engaging than rockabilly. I'm not really big on rockabilly. Mm-hmm. There's only one song I'm not big on, and that is Stranger. I mean, it's a wild one.
Well, it does have a big chest fade out.
Yeah.
I love the 80s sax.
Very sensual.
The singer's voice is like the most strained here, which kind of makes it more this like punk ballad thing. I dig it.
It is very ballady. And it's also the first thing on the album that's like fully clean. So I do appreciate it for the diversity's sake. And I do find it to be a rather cute song, even though I don't love it. But then it follows it up with Do You Know, which is great main riff, really, really fast, short and sweet. Yeah, there's like a lot of like short, punky stuff on here, but it has this, I don't know, it has this charm to it. There's a like was it Walking? Is a super wacky one. It has like total rawhide energy.
Yeah, very like drunken, The Doors, gypsy vibes on that one.
What was it? And another perfect example was Sick of That Song. I mean, it's just ranting and slurring, and it's less than a minute.
I almost wonder if those lyrics are directed at any band or bands in particular.
Probably.
Because it does seem like a little personal. It might not be, but it does seem that way.
Well, there's plenty. There's like a lot of stuff like that. Like, what's the song? What is it? It's from Government Issue, DC hardcore band, Rock and Roll Bullshit. Yeah. I mean, there was no shying away. I used to listen to the Clash. Now they suck like all the trash. Ramones used to be hit. Now they're just a pile of shit. Van Halen gives me a pain. Supertramp gives me a cramp. Like sometimes they go out, they name drop, and I find that to be pretty funny. But not in this case. Although I do suspect that it was about someone specific.
Sure. I don't know who. Maybe someone knows in the comments section. Although I won't be adventuring into the comment section after a week.
Yeah, it's a little risky. And Religia Vision, that one has some 70s punk energy to that one. Especially that snare, very 70s punk sounding snare.
Yes, love the way the bass and the drums sound on that. The lyric, I was born a wild and beautiful baby, made me laugh. Like,
what a lyric.
Man. And it just depresses me what a shitty songwriter he becomes.
Yeah.
Which, like, I'll make fun of as Simon and Garfunkel, but I do kind of get that they're songwriters, or at least Paul Simon is.
Yes.
Where later on, I'm like, this is like elementary school, what rhymes with cat, rat, and I'm getting ahead of myself here.
Yeah,
but
it's so confusing, disappointing for sure, but so strange that, like, I mean, that same song, Religia Vision, it's 5 minutes, which is 10,000 times longer than every other song on here for the most part, and it doesn't get bored. It doesn't get boring for a second. It's just it's got this strong, quirky bass line. It's just a really interesting song. And there's plenty of things like that on here where, like, this is like he's just trying crazy shit, and it's really interesting. You never know where it's going to go. And then somehow it's like his brain was swapped out with a child. The most basic, predictable bullshit for decades. It's I don't understand it. It's maybe he just likes it. I guess he just likes it, or maybe it hit with Runaway Train, so he's like, this is fun stuff. I like. I don't get it. It's really disturbing to me.
It absolutely is, and we have plenty of time to talk about that.
Yes.
Man, Masquerade is a wild song, though. It's the ugliest. There's like a lounge music section.
Hilarious saxes on that one. Saxes.
Love the saxes. Yeah. It is like a punk rock epic.
Yeah, it's another one of the few lengthier songs, another 5-minute one. But yeah, it's like the only song that's full on hardcore. We're going full hardcore punk, and then bam, we're going to some jazzy shit. It's delightful. It's fun. It's sleazy. It's weird enough. It's just weird enough. It's good stuff. Yeah. Following that, we got Happy, which is another fun one. Very fast and spastic, like a few others, with some of the kookiest riffs on the album.
Sounds like Sped Up Television, the band.
Check out our episode on television. Yeah, it's a fun one. Like Broken Glass is a little bit more traditional. A little bit. It kind of sounds like the Dead Boys or a band like that. Like very traditional, straightforward. Spacehead is like another fast punker. It kind of hops between a bunch of different things, and it's short enough to never get old. It closes with Black and Blue, which it's another straightforward one, but it's fun. It has got hooky riffs. Bad production. It's like the worst production on the album. I'm not sure. It sounds like a demo. I'm not sure where it came from, but
yeah, it doesn't add much for me.
It probably didn't need to be there, but I'm okay with it. Yeah, this is just this perked me up, and yeah, like I said, was genuinely excited after this album, thinking like, oh, all right, thank God this is going to be a good band. It's going to be an interesting band, tries new things, pushes things a little bit. It couldn't have been more fucking wrong. Oh my God.
Yeah, maybe I should have warned you, but
yeah, like the slow realization from album to album was pretty like, oh no. But for this album, this piece says, Say What You Will, produced by Hüsker Dü's Bob Mould, culminates the band's hardcore slop phase and introduces an awareness of country music and a nascent aptitude for difficult rhythms and vocal interplay. Beyond the sturdy melodies and taut 70s-informed rock energy, it intimated that horse singer guitarist Dave Pirner might possess genuine talent as a hallucinatory storyteller and enigmatically confessional lyricist.
Someone hit the thesaurus.
Yeah, that was a lot of big words to describe a guy who's not those things for the most part.
Has been that way for 30 plus years. Yeah.
A minute. In terms for like the album titles, I think, yeah, we're not experts on this band in case you couldn't tell. I believe the reissue from 88 is the one that's titled Say What You Will, Clarence, Carl Sold the Truck. I think that's the reissue title. That's the version you're going to find on streaming. But the original was probably just Say What You Will, ellipses. But whatever. It's a overly complicated album title, but a very good album regardless. And it's, I would say, the only one you got to listen to, like you have to listen to. There's others that I think are good albums though, but we'll get to those in a second. So yeah, my best and personal favorite. And we have 12 more to get to. So are you ready, Alex?
Let's keep this train rolling.
Hell yes. This is 1986's the first of, I think, 3 total records that they put out in 1986. By the way, last little thing that Patrick also wanted us to cover a couple EPs.
No,
that was not going to happen. I at first I was like, okay, we'll do the EPs. And then when I saw no chance. So they do put out EPs. Maybe some of them are good. We didn't cover them. Sorry. Moving on. This is 1986's Made to Be Broken. This is some Minnesota ass production.
Very shit. What the fuck?
God, this sounds like Hüsker Dü.
Yeah, the opening riffs were very Greg Ginn.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this sounds exactly like Hüsker Dü. Yeah.
That ride bell is crazy.
It's very loud. This sounds exactly like Hüsker Dü, but it is fun.
I don't know. In my brain, it's different for some reason.
Yeah. And now I get replacements from this riff. That's funny.
Yep.
So we're still very much in Minnesota punk territory with this album.
Yes. Best personal favorite.
Okay. All right. I'm not mad at that. I think this is a cool album. I liked it more when I went back to it after a few months.
And yeah, it was this one or the first one, but the song "Another World, Another Day." That's my favorite Soul Asylum song ever.
Oh, really? I mean, it is very first real change up that we got here.
It's jammy. It's psychedelic. It's amazing. It took me for a complete spin.
Drums are a huge attention grabber for that one. Well written though. It's a very interesting song, very unique sounding song. But the guitar line is just well written, but very unusual.
Yes. What do we got? Ship of Fools. I love bringing a piano player into this album. I think on multiple tracks, if I can remember correctly. That one's kind of more in line with the Wipers.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, check it out. It's on the Wipers. Yeah, it's got, really bright pianos, bright major key riffs all over that one.
Can't Go Back. I wasn't expecting the bass player to get so much shine in these like early albums, but he's the hero sometimes.
That's a fun one. Around 2 minutes and the guitar drops out. There's a nice little 80s alt rock section there, which I dig.
Yeah. What do we got? Title track. Title track is like Deep Purple with country riffs. They bring in that like I don't know if the country song's called Rawhide. That like
rolling. That's what I referenced on the previous album.
Yeah, so
that one, a lot of country western influence because of it. Reminded me a lot of Meat Puppets, which is another band that's I think they're from Arizona. I don't remember exactly, but they've always kind of reminded me of like a Replacements or a Hüsker Dü type band. Yeah, they're from Phoenix. Very different, but they have a lot of twang, which made me think of them. Fun band.
Never really been. I think that's like their first acoustic song.
Not the last.
It's unsurprisingly channeling some like Big Star. Check out our episode on Big Star.
Hell yeah.
And this a peppering of country music in that one as well.
Yeah, I don't mind it. It's starting to fit a little bit of a mold of like late 80s alt rock. Because of the way it's presented, it has a very, very unmistakably 80s alt rock presentation to it. But it's nice. It's not bad.
Well, I'm glad we got some ugly shit on here because
do we?
Yeah, I thought maybe that was this in the past. So, and I knew it was going to disappear eventually, but it's good to still be here.
Yeah, it's the most chaotic because they dropped the chaotic stuff pretty quickly. Like this is one of the last times they really do something wild, and it's fucking cool. I mean, it's heavy, it's mean, it's complex. It's got these weird, odd falsetto vocals, which fuck it, throw it in there. Yeah, it's a little bit more kind of like what the first album was doing.
New Feelings is the weakest song to me. I just feel like everything on this album and the last album, sans the closing track, Black and Blue, like everything else is just so like daring and interesting and fun, and Growing Pain ironically is not that.
Growing Pain is not.
Oh, sorry. New Feelings. My bad. New Feelings. My bad.
Growing Pain is one of my lesser favorite songs. I'm okay with New Feelings. It reminds me of what sounds like Texas hardcore to me, with these like sing along anthemic choruses. It's a little bit more unpredictable, which I find it to be interesting. Growing Pain, however, is just got to the samey point. It just became very samey at this point in the album.
I like it. It's like tame Primus, and there's some rad drumming on that track.
Okay. The intro to Lone Rider is a total fake out. Total fake out.
Yep.
But pretty cool song. Very busy, very active.
Very different rhythmically.
Yeah.
Yes. Which for a band dabbling in country music, you would think Lone Rider would, but no, it's this weird.
Give it to me, baby. Give me all that weird. Ain't That Tough brings things way down, but it still has energy and speed to it.
How dare you say almost exactly what I was going to say.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah. And then, we get some more piano, and my ears may have mistaken me, but I think the drummer's using a double kick on this song for some reason.
Interesting.
Really goes off the rails at the end, though, which I appreciate.
Don't it make your trouble seem small is like the last chaotic one we got here. Yeah, a lot of it's hard to follow. I like it as a song. I think the fast mean main riff is very cool, but the rest of it, it's very messy, kind of hard to follow.
Yeah, I would agree. And yeah, immediately after I finished this, I knew the hurt that was coming. I was like, how do you record this and it's just, but overall, I like this one the most because you get some experimental stuff, and by experimental I mean they're like playing with new sounds, and then you still get a smattering of filthy punk rock. It's I think it's great.
It's actually it's a nice blend of the two styles. Where I would say still has a good healthy dose of punk in there, but it's still bringing in the softer stuff, the acoustic stuff. It toned down the craziness, and the acoustic alt stuff is still at a very low level. So it's like a nice healthy combination of everything.
Exactly. Yeah, I might in the off chance I do like best Minnesota albums, I may even like throw this album on there.
Holy shit. Despite our intensely negative feelings toward the band, they still had great albums at the beginning.
Because this one's just so unique. We did the Hüsker Dü replacement comparisons, talked about the Wipers and other bands, but it's just like no one made an album that sounds like Made to Be Broken, where it bought all these different elements in and served you up some Minnesota hot pot.
Some Minnesota hot pot, baby. Hell yeah. Yeah, so this piece says about this album, the confident, emotionally compressed sound and material on the raw, fiery Made to Be Broken is light years better. Which Alex would agree with. It remains an essential Soul Asylum LP, raging dual vocals and interwoven guitar work by Perner and Dan Murphy, supported by new rival Grant Young's precise, varied drumming, make the tuneful power of Tied to the Tracks, Ship of Fools, New Feelings, and the country-ish title track shatteringly original. This is all right. This guy is a little bit biased. All right, I get it. You like the fucking
I like our Joe Everyman vocabulary to describe this album better.
We say spacey and rad. That's what we say. All right. You use your fucking stupid ass synonyms for those.
We are a blue collar working class podcast.
Absolutely. I have a college education that I have not used once, and I refuse to even try. I forgot all the words I learned in college.
I'm going to get one and then join you in using it. Yeah.
Thank you. So Alex's best and personal favorite, and we have plenty more to go. So we have plenty more to go. We have plenty more.
So much.
Oh my God. So, all right, here we go. This is moving on. This is it.
Number
three, also from 1986. This is While You Were Out. This is a very cool main riff. Cool bass line.
Yes. I don't love this song, but that bass line is...
I think it's a good song, but a bad opener.
Okay, yeah. That makes sense in my brain.
Also, Dave's vocals here really starting to remind me of Bob Mould now. Yeah, I can't be crazy. Those drums fucking suck, right?
Not nearly as good as the last album, which is crazy because it's the same year.
Yeah, same year.
Probably this new producer. Good bass lines, but it's like the drums aren't holding anything together. It's very strange sounding. Yeah, the drums don't sound good.
No, but I would say that this is a decent album. This is where we start to notice a decline this early.
it's the last list. Well, that's a bit rough, but I
think there's more listenable albums. I think there's listenable albums, not albums I would want to return to.
This is the last album I'll personally enjoy. Let me say that then.
Okay. I found coming back to this after a few months, enjoying it a little bit more. Not a lot more, but I remember being really disappointed when I first heard this, like really disappointed. I think my expectations were a little bit quelled when I went back to it later on. So I was kind of able to appreciate some stuff. I still think it's paced like shit though. I mean, it follows that. First of all, that's a bad opener. It's a good song, but a really weird opener. And then it follows it up with Carry On, which it's like, it's high energy Minneapolis punk, but it's really the riffs aren't that interesting. There's nothing grabbing about it. There's nothing special about it.
I think the more poppy vocals on that song kind of get to me.
Okay.
And then the next song, No Man's Land, I figured out how to describe Minnesota punk on that song. Gruff yet sentimental.
There we go. That's pretty much what it is. It's gruff, but it doesn't feel harsh. Like Bob Mould's voice doesn't feel harsh, and he's like, he sounds like a bear.
It's gruff. So that's No Man's Land. That's just what Minnesota sounds like, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, it is a very bouncy, happy song. It's got really bright, nice acoustic guitars in there. It feels good. Yeah, it's nothing. It sounds a lot like everything else at this point, but I'm fine with it. Crashing Down is where I'm like, okay, that's really Hüsker Dü sounding. It's not particularly bad, but I'm just getting bored.
It's pretty fast. The punk has more in common with a Bad Religion, or it pains me to say it, but Social D. So there's that. The Judge, though, I like it. It's almost almost new wave with that organ in there.
It's like minor key and sleazy and bluesy. It sounds like, it reminds me of like a chaotic punky Kiss, which all right, I'll take that. I don't have a problem with that. It's got some sizzly ass hi-hats. I dig I like the way they sound there. But it's not bad. It's not too bad. And then when the album starts picking up for me, it starts to around this point where I start to get a little bit more into it. Sun Don't Shine, I don't mind it. It's not bad at all.
Such a cool intro. Yeah.
It's got some good stuff in there. It's got it's a little bit darker. It's got these really cool, fast, clean sections. It's got good. I mean, it's a really unique sound. I kind of love parts of it. And the final chunk, it's a little bit weaker. It slows down. It gets really anthemic. But I'm already sold by the first half. What do you think of Closer to the Stars?
I thought it was going to be a fast one the way it started off, but then they do like a hard rock ballad.
They sure do. It is capital ROCK. That is rock. That is rock music right there. I am not loving it. I am not loving it at all.
It almost sounded like you were doing a plug to like KROQ, ROCK. But it is that type of music. Like,
yeah. I don't really like the song. It doesn't offend me, but the only thing I really like about it is like the vocal performance is pretty raw and sounds good.
I don't care for Never Too Soon.
Why? You don't like that proggy ass main riff?
No, I don't know. It was this. I don't know. Didn't land
it's one of my
for
favorite
me.
Songs on the album. I dig it a lot. It's on the meaner side. It's all the songs you kind of feel the same, but it's a little bit meaner. Then around a minute 10, it has a really cool dark riff that kind of gets uglier as it goes on.
Maybe I'll go back and be like, Mike really liked it. Man, I was too harsh on this one.
It's a good song. It's a pretty good song. I don't know why I'm okay. Like, I was really not into Miracle Mile at first, and then eventually it won me over. It's because it's just hard rock, but it's just nice. There's something about certain songs that like they don't have to be the greatest fucking thing ever. Sometimes they just work.
Yeah, it's not bad, but it's not as exciting as other things. So
not exciting, but I don't have a problem. Like a huge. If you put it on, I wouldn't be mad. Probably wouldn't seek it out, but it's fine. I actually like the ride bells on Lap of Luxury. It's got a nice blend of dark and sleazy on that one. Some cool bass lines. I'll take it.
Yeah, it's also nice to have something a little more jaunty at this part of the album. Just pick you up a little bit. Passing Sad Daydream. I thought I hated that song at first.
Ooh.
But that song ended up winning me over.
Did it?
It's this, depressing blues bar music that kind of ends up being more unique than I thought it would be.
Yeah, it is an interesting one. It's a slow ballady waltz, but with a country western side to it. And it has like these snarly, awkward vocals that it's like they're trying to sing straight. I like the song. I don't think it warrants 6 minutes, even for a closer, for what it's doing. But yeah, I do like it. It's not a bad song at all.
And that's album number 3.
Yeah, maybe just fucking running through all these. I think we're fucking speed running this episode, which is hilarious because this is how we used to do the podcast way back when. Like, all right, 5 to 10 minutes per album, and then we started doing 40 minutes per album.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much to cover still.
There is so much to cover. So this is from the same piece from Trouser Press, which I find funny because we just read a couple snippets from the previous 2 albums, and they were like, this using all these big words like this album did this and did this and it was extravagant and it was amazing and it was wonderful. And see, I'm not using big words because I don't have them, but This one, well, this is a funny quote. It says, "While You're Out is a disappointment that doesn't do the song's adequate justice." All right, so they're not biased completely. I mean, they're not like just blowing smoke with the band's ass.
That's crazy to put a press release out that says that.
I don't think it's the press release. It's from Trouser Press. It's the piece on the band. It says the performances sound hurried and the arrangements unfinished, as if they couldn't afford the studio time, and then maybe making 2 albums in the same year wasn't such a good idea. Fair point.
Fair point.
You could tell it's their fucking 3rd record in a year, which I think it was an EP before this one. And it's just at least at this point, the least memorable collection of songs in this early style. Pacing sucks. And we're already like, at least I was already craving like, come on, do something a little different. Can we just mix it up a little bit? Little did I know.
It gets worse.
Boy. So let us move on to I believe their major label debut. What was this on A&M? Ooh, they're on A&M now, baby.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So you can expect a change in production, and well, I know you're ready. So let's just get into it. This is 1988's Hang Time. When I thought of major label debut, expensive production, I wasn't expecting in a bathroom production.
Or to like open up so sleazy.
So sleazy. I don't mind it. I think it's a cool main riff. Yeah. I actually quite like the song. I think it's a significantly better intro or opener than the previous album.
I think I agree with that. Also, those melodies I was talking over, like very Beatles-like.
Yeah. Let me see if we can get to it again. That's a very, very cool chorus.
No, this is getting blickety blam hard rock.
Yeah. This just is fucking Pearl Jam, early Alice in Chains. All right, so that song's got some good stuff. This is like interesting. I like this one a lot. Okay, I like this one a fair amount when I first heard it. Went back a couple months later, liked it less. I think there's still good stuff on here, but it's got some rough chunks, and overall, it's just kind of doing one thing, and they're settling into doing like one style per album at this point.
It is a bit ironic. There's a song called "Little Too Clean."
Yep, this says track 2.
I do like the guitar riffs on the verse for that, but there's this parts of it where it sounds more like hair metal.
Oh, I don't mind it. I like the song. I think it keeps up the momentum pretty well. There is a little bit of evolution there. That it's by that I mean it sounds
doing something different.
Well, it sounds so much less like the Replacements and Hüsker Dü. It sounds this album is like where it stops sounding like Minneapolis, which I thought was a good thing. Turns out it's not. But for now, it's not a bad thing.
Speaking of that sound, I get it on Sometime to Return, where it's like a sleek version of that sound, or maybe they're bringing that sound in, but like, okay, let's also bring in some like Cheap Trick influences.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I didn't even think of that. I don't listen to Cheap Trick that much, so it didn't occur to me. That's not a bad point. Yeah, very much. It's channeling a little some 80s alt rock in there too, a little bit more polished, but kind of it's a little bit
more sleek.
Yeah, there's a lot of sleekness here. It's not like immaculate, offensively sleek or anything, but it's just kind of going in that direction. We got the bright acoustics back on Cartoon, which man, I hate the song. Like I was I was weird. Fine with it at first. I liked it at first, and I came back and I fucking hate it. Like I don't know how that happened.
It's weird. I don't like it, but I can admit the guitar player's putting in work on that song.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it's not like doomed. I don't like it, but if I was okay with it on first listen, I would be a fool to not see how it would appeal to someone. Yeah, it's a very hopeful song. Got these harmonized vocals. There's a little bit of replacement style riffage. It's got a little bit more attitude though, but similar writing style. It's like a hard hitting ballad. Yeah, it's more overall probably pretty harmless. I just happened to not like it at all when I went back to it.
Also, the song's not called this, but I'm just going to make a deep pull for fans of the song Mambo number 5. The next song, Lou Begas and Luke Chooses.
Lou Beggars and Lou Choosers. Yes.
It's called Beggars and Choosers, but man, that I was surprised by that song and how much I liked it, because
really
there was something about it where I like the energy, I like the playing on it. It's probably my favorite song on this particular album. The like shiny, bright acoustic guitars is very reminiscent to Susie and the Banshees without sounding like them. It's just like, okay, tonally. That's the word I'm looking for.
I ended. That's another one of the songs that I came back and didn't like it. Like I get the presentation. It's got really great drums on there. Coming back to it, I just didn't like any of the riffs. It was just simple as that. I just didn't enjoy the riffs. Yeah,
not a strong riff album here.
No, this is where the riffs start to show their true nature. Like this is where his actual riff writing skills start to like, because there's still good ideas here. There's still good songs here. It's still not like, it's not like horrible, but it starts to like what constitutes like, all right, this is the song. This is the riff of the song. This is the hook. And it's like, that fucking really like, yeah, this is where it kind of begins. A little bit on the last album that seemed more like style fatigue, where they just like wrote a shit ton of songs and they just reached the end of all the songs that they wrote. This feels like, all right, we're going in there, we're writing new songs, and they just happen to be not great. The ballad energy returns on Endless Farewell, which is, compared to everything else, very emotional. I actually like it. I mean, I actually do like it.
I was still riding the highs of Passing Sad Daydream, so it's fine, but not as good as Daydream is.
I like the progressions a lot more. I don't actually like the progressions more than the presentation. I think it's well written, lovely. Standing in the Doorway brings back the speed and energy. It's got a very nice rolling toms that sound really good.
I love the drums on this, but I think the song is mid.
See, it's again, yeah. I was fine with the riffs, but that's just kind of how it goes. Like if you like the presentation, sometimes the riffs just do nothing. Like I'm starting to wonder now, like how much, because I know Dave writes all the music, but how much input did these original members have on these earlier albums? Because Jesus Christ, like a lot of the presentation, a lot of the arrangements, a lot of the stuff that makes the songs interesting, sometimes, you don't really put, that little arrangement choice was done by this person. You just put all songs written by Danzig, obviously he didn't do the fucking solos on the first 4 Danzig albums. So it's like the things that make the songs and albums great end up being contributions that don't get credited. And looking at the vast majority of this guy's career, I wonder if it was his collaborators just throwing it out there. Don't know for sure. Don't stab me. It's just pondering, thinking out loud here.
Imagine Soul Asylum's fan base is just ravenous.
Why wouldn't they be? They're a specific ass band that does one very specific thing. Those have the craziest fans. The craziest fans.
Oh, they're not gonna let me go back to Minnesota.
You're exiled from your original home.
Yep.
Marionette comes in with almost sparks operatic energy.
Yeah, it's very fun, playful. Definitely one of the more different, unique songs on the album.
There's something joyful about it that I enjoyed. I don't really like the song anymore, but I still quite like the outro, which is gentle and pretty. And then we get the complete other side of the spectrum with Ode, which is just mean hard rock. It's something special, but I'm fine with it. Whatever.
Very, very grunge. Jack of all trades, upbeat, fast, but not punk rock. Still in that hard rock vein.
I would say, if I had, Jack of all trades probably my favorite song on the album.
Okay,
it's twangy and Minneapolis sounding at the same time, but it's got some of the best riffs on the whole album, I think. And it's got, it's really, really fast. It's got a great punk energy, but it's also got unique writing to it. It's cool stuff. I did not see Tweedledee coming. I don't think you did either, if I had to guess.
No, but I'm not opposed to a song you could dance a jig to.
It's a hoedown.
It's a hoedown. My only complaint is no one was blowing into a jug on that song.
It could have used a little bit more jug.
Missed opportunity.
Indeed.
13th floor elevators would never.
No, they make sure there's a fucking electric jug on every song. Doesn't matter how nonsense it is. I found myself enjoying Tweedledee way too much. That's a fun song.
Let me, unrelated to anything, this because I've been listening to it. This because it's in the same vein of like wacky, like on paper, you would hate it, but check out this Tyler, the Creator song called Balloon off his latest album.
Okay.
Let me know what you think of that song.
Balloon, Tyler, the Creator.
I'll send it to you after this.
Yeah.
But it's the same type of energy where like I was not expecting that at all. It's arguably goofy, but you know what? I'm for it.
All right. Okay. Sometimes it works. The original closer for the album is Heavy Rotation, which is possibly the most abrasive thing yet. The way it opens up.
It was so crazy to put on this fucking album.
It's wild. I mean, it's got kind of a rockin' chorus, but it is ugly as shit. I mean, a bizarre, very cool song.
It's just like, okay, we're allowed to do one very heavy song and no more after this. Let's just get it out of our systems.
Literally never again from this point on in the discography, which is crazy. I get maybe you don't want to be that band. Fine. But do you hate it? Why would you write it and put it on your album if you hated it? Why would you put it as your closer if you hated it? That means it's in you. Why would you bury it, you son of a bitch? Make your albums more interesting, for fuck's sake. So that was the original closer on streaming, as well as the CD version. The bonus final track is Put the Bone In, which is like a silly acoustic sing-along song. I like it. There's no reason for anyone to like it. I get not liking it. I find it cute. It's got a charm to it. It's fun. I like it.
I can't listen to a song that repeatedly brings up a dog getting hit by a car. But
I didn't even catch that at all.
It's like 80% of the song. But it's one of those songs you drunkenly sing at a bar with a minimum of 5 other people.
Indeed. Yeah, it's one of those songs. So it's fine for that purpose, I guess. But yeah, this is I would say this is a fine, like another decent album, another fine album that, yeah, it'll scratch some itches. If you're into this particular kind of thing, I could see why it would be considered a stronger one. But the pacing's still rough for me. I ended up enjoying it less the more I heard it. But I think it kind of boils down to me just not liking the style and not liking this guy's songwriting. This is kind of where it started to really build that, like, oh, this is just not for me. Okay. But now that we're done with that, we are now in the 90s, baby.
Hopefully next hour or under, if I'm being optimistic, is just pure hatred from here on out.
I would say, it is not for you. It's pure hatred. For me, it's I see what you're doing. I'm going to try and play your game for a little bit for next couple albums or so.
That's more fair. That's more fair.
I'll play your game. This is hey, this is your show. All right. I came and listened to your albums. You made these albums. I didn't fucking make them. I'm here listening to you. All right. That goes out the window in a few albums, but I'm at this point, I'm still there.
Okay. That's a more fair assessment, actually.
This is 1990s and the horse they rode in on.
And we're done. Wrap it up. This is the end of their discography. This is objectively not awful, though.
It is not awful. I don't love it at all. But I'll give it I'll give this song a pass, 100%.
It's not weird. It's not gruff.
He's singing now, and he's going to be doing that forever. He's just a singer now. There's no more screaming or interesting gruffness or wild choices. He's an indie rock alternative singer.
What a shame.
Yes. So this is like, hearing this, yeah, I'm not offended by it, but it's the same way I feel about like Hüsker Dü's last album, which I didn't like at all. It's the same, like, oh, you're doing this kind of alternative poppy thing. I don't like it. And this album is, I would still qualify this one as okay. Like if you're accepting of this kind of alternative, just early 90s alternative, it's okay. There's some good songs on here.
I would summarize the album as like taking that big star formula and shining it up real nice in an attempt to get on the radio.
Shining it up, yeah. And Big Star had some quality songwriting. This is very much weaker. There are two songs on here that I think are good songs that I like. One of them is Brand New Shine, which is another hoedown song. For some reason, the hoedown stuff works for me.
Also, I was like, oh, it's kind of like Primus, and then I realized it's this sped up country, and I was like, is Primus the sped up country?
I wrote down Primus as well. It's the guitar leads. It's very it really especially reminded me of just the original South Park theme. That kind of that kind of guitar work. And the other song that I like, my favorite song on the album is the closer, All the King's Friends, which I find to be the most interestingly written song by far on the album.
Yeah, it's, to me, that one in particular is this, like, the band being pulled in so many different directions. There's almost like sludge riffs, and then there is they do it once or twice on here, and it becomes more egregious and more offensive, but the Tom Petty-fication of Soul Asylum.
Oh, I didn't write down Tom Petty once. I get it, but it didn't like stab me the way it did you.
I wrote down Tom Petty so many times.
Oh shit.
Some like unique things on here, this because we have so much to get through. Like Nice Guys Don't Get Paid, it has like this weird tropical vibe to it, and those are Steely Dan ass lyrics if I've ever heard them.
Why?
This, like, I don't know, this is the I'd have to like look up the lyrics, but I was like, I can imagine whatever the Steely Dan singer is,
fucking Dan.
Yeah, I can imagine him like singing these lyrics.
Yeah, Nice Guys Don't Get Paid. Yeah, it's got some clean guitars and some hand drums. I find the riffs to be unbelievably average, but I like the arrangements. It's got good dynamics. I'm okay with it. So like the part of like where the incoming doom, the imminent doom, if you will, is a song like Veil of Tears, where it's like, oh, this is, I hope you like this song, folks. I hope you like Veil of Tears, because get ready for fucking 20 to 30 years of it. Actually 35, 34 years of it, because that's the type of, it's like 90s alternative dad rock. It's like that kind of thing where it's completely inoffensive and pleasant for like, you know, a Bounty commercial or something, like a laundry detergent commercial, like something like that, where it's just so clean and happy and acoustic and nice. It's nauseating. It's fucking, I hate it.
So that song, We the Three and Easy Street. Also, I think it's funny they have a song We the Three and these all, or We Three. Sorry, these three do like are the most generic bland shit ever. Like Easy Street is crazy. That is a single, and it's one of the most forgettable songs on here. Let me tell you what I like on here. The one good song, Gullible's Travels.
Oh, Gullible's Travels. Yes. I don't love it, but I'll take it.
Almost a whimsical sea shanty. The bridge section just caught me off guard. It's almost like dark new wave. It's like a sea shanty gets turned into a goth song.
It is very, that's an interesting way to put it. Because it's, I thought it was, at first I was like, this is corny as fuck. It's super emotional. It's got a high energy. But I don't hate it. I don't know why I don't I should hate it a lot more than I do. And then that breakdown, it's on 220. It goes super dark. It's only a few bars long. It's very short, but it's very fucking cool. Very snappy, hi-hat driven beat with a really cool emotional solo. Yep, I'll take it. I'll take that one.
And yeah, that's all the things of note on this one for me, I think.
I don't mind We Three. Like I would never like go to bat for it. I don't think the writing is very amazing at all. But I don't think it's terrible. I think it's doing something a little bit different, even though it still has a lot of dad rock in it. The pianos on it, I don't mind them. Like it's a lot of the songs, like aside from the 2 songs that I mentioned, all the ones that I'm okay with, I'm just okay with. Like I don't hate it. I kind of get it. Other songs like fucking Something Out of Nothing sounds like Pearl Jam. It's just not for me. Grounded, more acoustic stuff, very unremarkable. It's just, yeah, it's not horrible.
It's unremarkable.
Unremarkable, not horrible. I kind of get why someone would be into this kind of thing, but I think even if you were, you got better options. Like this is absolutely fine. Yeah.
Most of those options I'm not even a fan of, but they might be better.
Might be better. Yep. So now we got the next one and the big one.
It's the big one. It's the big one.
It's the big one. It's the only one people know. Actually, I don't know. I can't believe how many others there are.
I wouldn't be surprised if the first 3 albums kind of have like a cult following. Like if you know, you know.
That would make a lot of sense because those are yeah. At least the first 2, definitely. If we have anything to say about it, but. Here we go, baby. This is the one with Runaway Train on it. This is 1992's Grave Dancers Union.
Those harmonics caught me off guard so bad.
Sure did.
They're really fucking cool.
This verse is really cool. I love this verse.
Oh, but it turns into 90s slop real quick.
Right about... In like 2 bars, it's about to turn to 90s slop. In the sky, suddenly he breaks into song. I'm waiting by the phone. And now we're alternative. We're back to alternative. No. I don't hate it. It's not for me. It's definitely not for me. Like, I think I'm okay with it.
I think I hate it just because they served me up that cool intro.
Cool intro, and honestly, the verses rule. Like, what a great bass line.
Yeah.
So yeah, you kind of get the idea. It's a very if the weird thing, man, the fact that those verses are that cool. With such a dark, mean ass riff, those fucking toms, and then the rest of the album is just.
I will say the next song definitely makes Black Gold makes the first song sound like a fucking masterpiece.
Yes, it's. Say it with me, trash, right?
Trash, garbage. Also, the thing I hate about Black Gold. These motherfuckers try to pepper in some psychedelia shit in there. That's not going to save you, buddy. Those backwards instruments aren't going to save you. That's just you can't throw parsley on a steak from Sizzler and tell me it's Ruth Chris.
Indeed, that psychedelic section, I was like, oh, well, that part's kind of cool, I guess, but it's not worth it. Not at all worth it.
It's not.
For track two, you're gonna halt the momentum like that brutally. And then track 3 is Runaway Train, which won a Grammy. It's a very, very big song. And you know what? No, so fine. Give it up for this song. It's a really catchy song. I get it. It's not for me. It's not my style of song. It ends up stuck in my head a lot. It's a very pretty song. I totally get it. What grinds my gears, Alex, is that it won the Grammy for rock or best rock song. Get the fuck out of here, dude. Of course it did.
Yeah.
What was it up against? We're going to find out right now.
Oh, man. This is probably going to enrage me. This album is a triple platinum. Holy fuck. That's
insane. It beat out, first of all, Aerosmith, I believe, was nominated twice for Living on the Edge and Crying. I'll Do Anything for Love. I Do Anything for Love by Jim Steinman or
Meatloaf.
And then
that came out 93
or maybe 92 or something. And then Are You Gonna Go My Way by Lenny Kravitz. So in other words, they weren't up against heavy hitters except for fucking Meatloaf. Like, honestly, should have given goddamn Meatloaf. But if I'm gonna be honest, out of all this shit, I like Runaway Train more. Like, I don't fucking give a fuck about any of the other songs. Even the Meatloaf one. I like Meatloaf, but I don't like that song exactly.
I think in my heart, Meatloaf is the best song here.
Yes, it is probably the best song there. But I don't enjoy it that much.
But if I'm choosing violence, Lenny Kravitz.
Ugh. Oh, really? Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Ooh. There are a few people I hate more than Lenny Kravitz musically. I think he's up there for me.
I don't know. His daughter's gorgeous. He's gorgeous.
Yeah, so is the woman he made the daughter with. It doesn't mean his music's any good.
Oh, man.
Man.
No, it has nothing. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not going to listen to Leonard's music, but
yeah, that was one of my favorite.
I don't know. There's just something I appreciate about him. He did an interview recently where he said, they were talking about like what counts as like black music, and he was talking about like how ridiculous BET is, and he said he's never been invited to the BET Awards.
Yeah, he's not real black apparently.
Apparently not.
My favorite thing about Lenny Kravitz is just the joke that Pete Holmes made on like Conan or something, where he said, sometimes when I make myself laugh, I just remind myself Lenny Kravitz's name is Leonard Kravitz. Yeah, that's the funniest thing in the world. His name is just the funniest thing in the world. Looking at him.
He got to be one of the, you would never expect one of the sexiest men alive would be named Leonard Kravitz.
But two of the unsexiest names perhaps of all time.
Hold on. You could third one, his full name, Leonard Albert Kravitz.
Ooh, Albert's rough. Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to show them my app.
Honestly, if he was Albert Leonard Kravitz, that's a little bit less, but he's a smart guy. He went by Lenny. Smart guy.
Yeah, smart guy. Anyways,
Runaway Train's a fine song. It's a pretty song. It's a fine song. It won a Grammy. It's cool. It's fine. I have no problem with it. I'm not going to seek it out, but it's a cute song.
It's not as good as Meatloaf and Lenny Kravitz, in my opinion.
Okay, there it is.
But I digress.
The official ruling of EAE.
Yeah, you know what is dog shit and is like rock and roll music 101 first draft type shit. Keep it up.
Yes.
Even if you like this adult contemporary soft rock bullshit, this is inexcusable.
It stinks. It's more one of the hard rock kind of songs on here. I wasn't disgusted by it, but it was mostly like, I'm bored. It's inoffensive.
Yes.
Not for me. Just get out. Just no. I felt the same way about Homesick, where it's like, this is just, more 90s dad rock. This is kind of what the Veil of Tears from the last album kind of introduced. We're leaning into it now, baby. Homesick they're just this kind of band now. That's just what has happened.
Homesick pisses me off because between like the backwards instruments on the other song and then the lyrics here are like, if you just read them, you'd be like, oh, is that off like a Pink Floyd album or something? Like, it almost feels like they wanted to make a psychedelic album, but they made this shit. Yeah,
the most watered down, commercialized alternative. This is just, they're full blown. There's no like, a lot of times with bands that, not even just bands we cover, just bands in general, where like they have like several different labels that kind of apply. They're a little bit of alternative, a little bit of hard rock, a little bit metal, in whatever band. Like this is one of the few bands where it's like, oh, they're just alternative. They were an alternative music band. It's like,
I think that's too generous.
Even really, because they just have they play the one style of song for like the vast majority. And it's really like, oh, well, if you don't like alternative, there's really no reason to listen to this.
If you don't like alternative, there's generic hard butt rock with April Fool. Those are the cherry ass pie riffs.
I'm okay with that song. It's very AC/DC-ish. A lot of chokes. and it has like there's like a little sleazy section following the halfway point that I find it's fine. Yeah, it's nothing on here is gonna like change. I was about to say nothing on here is gonna win any awards, but that's fucking wrong. We don't know. Definitely already won an award.
I went triple platinum
For this shit. I don't mind April Fool. I'm fine with April Fool. But I'm not gonna go super hard for any song on this album.
You know what? I think you could like cut Growing Into You off this album and even the most hardcore fans wouldn't notice it went missing.
You know, it won me over a little bit on second listen, but not to the point where I would, go to bat for it that hard. It is 100% an alt rocker that doesn't do anything that interesting. It's pretty average. It's the kit, that little meme of the ideal spot for a troublemaker to sit in class is at this specific angle behind this kid that's blocking the view of the teacher. That's what that song is. It just got by. It snuck behind a thing, and it's not like a giant outlandish crazy song that sucks so bad. It's just like average and easy to forget, and it slipped under the rug.
Yeah. 99%. It's fine for a 90s song. It gets kind of noisy, feels like channeling some Iggy Pop for those vocals.
It's uglier than everything else on the album. I'm okay with it. It's not even close to the griminess of the early stuff, but I like it.
And then they close it out with the shittiest Beatles song ever, The Sun Made.
The Sun Made. It's a lot more sweet and sentimental than the other ones. There's like some light horns on there. There's a good string section there. I quite like the arrangements on the song though.
Which also this feeds into my like, they wanted to make a psychedelic album theory.
Yeah, like the strings on that song kind of made me a little bummed. Like they came out really well. I get not liking the song. I'm okay with it, but I it's totally not for everyone. But the way it was produced, the actual implementation of the strings is very well done. It doesn't just sound like stock strings thrown in there, or it doesn't sound like it could possibly be like synths. Like it's very obviously a real string section. It sounds good, and it's nowhere else in the album. It was just kind of delegated to one song. Maybe they wanted to do a little bit of like an epic, big closer kind of thing, but it doesn't really feel that big or epic. It's just a sweet kind of song.
You know what bumps me out is that we have 6 or 7 albums left,
and since you gave me that segue. We have 7. We have 7 albums left, Alex.
7, yeah.
And this is where I say, take your pick for worst. At this point onward, choose whichever you want, and I will say, I understand. I have my worst. I have what I think, without a doubt, is the worst. I believe you, and I'm not going to argue with you if you say a different one is worse. From here on out, I have fucking no love. There is no love. There is no defending. After this point, there is no more defending this band.
I hope we argue.
That would be very difficult to argue when we both hate the music so much.
I do feel very strongly about one being the worst, though.
Yeah, I do too, but I also had such a bad time that, really, like, I'm all empathy at this point. There's just
okay.
Oh man,
let's rip this Band-Aid off. All
right, so now we're into the dark. We're into the dark ages now. Here we go. This is 1995's "Let Your Dim Light Shine."
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
I mean, this gives up writing song lyrics here. This is where the very simpleton rhyming.
See, I didn't even have to hear a single word to hear that he's given up. All I heard was this fucking bland bullshit, and I was like, oh, fuck this.
This song does sound vaguely familiar. I don't know if I heard it in a movie or whatever.
Dude, lots of songs on these albums are you're gonna feel like they should have been in a sad montage in 90s movies. Sad montage music all over the place.
I might just have nothing. I know what you pay to see. Put me out of my misery.
The irony of him singing that.
Indeed. Okay, so if someone is enjoying this song right now,
Why are you listening to us?
There's nothing to relate to here.
You can leave now, sir, ma'am, or them.
We have such vastly different ideas of what constitutes enjoyable music, or what constitutes music that you, or why you would listen to music. And worst, least favorite for this one.
This is fucking bad, but
it's bad. Yes. It broke me. Listen, they get bad. They get so bad in the early 2000s. They become generic dog shit. I mean, just in every possible way you can imagine. This one is the worst for me because, oh my God, this one absolutely destroyed me. Like, it broke me. It shattered me, really, because I was hanging on for the last few minutes. I don't like where it was going, but there was a moment where like, okay, that's fine. This one, in one listen, I was like, oh fuck, like this shit just got real. I felt like I was dropped off a skyscraper. So one, it was the shock of like, okay, they suck now. Okay, all right, accepting that, gonna accept that. The other thing is, it is this very specific style of 90s wimpy, overly emotional, generic alternative. It's the 90s version of it. Because later on we get like a little bit, the 21st century version of it. This version feels like songs you'd hear in commercials. It's songs you would hear in sad montages in 90s movies. It's songs that you hear and you don't even like a part of me doesn't even believe it's a real band making it. It's almost like a machine is just making music to put in the background of shit. And it's a whole album of it. There is not a single good song here. Nothing redeemable about this whole fucking album. This is up there for the worst of the worst for me. There are, I think, 2 moments in the entire album where there's a riff that is a good riff. And what do they do with that? Fucking nothing. They play it for 3-4 bars and then they're done. The first time that happens is on Shutdown, which is bland, generic, faceless Pearl Jam hard rock. And then at 2 minutes in, it goes into this solo section with a legitimately great riff. And then it's gone. And then the whole song sucks. That little moment of like, please don't go. And then it just leaves. That's when I was like, fuck this album.
I mean, it's really bad. It's not an official title, but I might give this best of the worst.
Best of the worst. Goddamn.
Because it makes sense. It's stupid. It's bad, but it like makes sense to me why they would try it. I agree with you. I don't like anything. I hate the shitty lyrics he's brought in, like vindicated, corporated. He like rhymes oblivious with obvious. Ugh.
You never heard a rhyme before, Alex?
No. This solidifies my hatred of Tom Petty, that like I hate him so much that someone doing like Tom Petty worship is like this the fucking worst. They've unintentionally, on I guess the last album and this one, invented a new genre of music. I call it shitty adult contemporary psychedelia. You get that on String of Pearls. They throw in fucking porn guitars on there.
Yep.
Do you know how easily amused I am by bare bones Middle Eastern influenced psychedelic music? And this song couldn't even fucking do that. Like
it really it fumbled on every possible catch. Like that String of Pearls, man, that moment where it gets all funky and bouncy, man. So it was a bland kind of straight acoustic rock song at first. It kind of reminded me of like a really shitty Ween, like, some of their acoustic songs. Like, it's not good, but it's not horrible. I'm okay. And then it does that fucking thing, and it's like, what? Like, just what? Oh man! And then. I decided Shutdown as being like a heartbreaking moment because it gives me this, little snippet of a great riff and then it never goes to it again. Caged Rat broke my heart because,
dude,
it has this genuinely super interesting intro. it has this. It returns to that intro once more after the solo, but it's this really interesting intro, and then it goes into this one of the shittiest, poppiest bullshit verses I've ever heard, and then the choruses are angry and punky. So it's like, oh, it's a novelty song. They're doing super over the top, almost Hanson-esque poppiness in the verses, and then big crazy fast punk in the choruses. It's all novelty. It's fucking dog shit. It stinks. It showed that it could do something a little bit unique and interesting, and then just like, oh no, by the way, we're just gonna make it a joke song.
It's weird and different, but those don't make it good. It's like Dave Matthews Band decided to do hard rock.
Oh God,
man. I think this album did kind of make me appreciate Neutral Milk Hotel a little bit, because
they had some good songs.
Eyes of a Child, like it was this very like Jeff Mangum,
yeah.
Very much that. And I will say, even for this part, writing songs about 6-year-old prostitutes is dark even for us.
Is that what the song's about?
Well, there's a line in there about it. I don't know if it's the whole song, but there's a fucking line about a 6-year-old turning tricks.
Rough, dude. Rough.
Cringe, bro.
God damn. Yeah, there's really nothing. I mean, literally the only positive are 2 riffs on the whole album, and those are not positive because of how badly they butchered the songs that they're in. You get shit like Promise is Broken, which is like the blandest blend of Beatles and Neil Young. It's like, oh, we're gonna write a Neil Youngsy Beatlesy song, and it just fucking blows because he's got no talent. God, I'm getting angry. Hopes Up is just more bland alternative. Was it Just Like Anyone? I mean, it's all, you pick a song, they all fucking feel the same. It's just all the songs. It's just a 90s shiny, clean, completely offensively inoffensive is what I would call this. Like it's taking no chances. It's doing all of the quote unquote right chord progressions. Everything is so unbearably predictable. Everything's nice and even, and it's just fucking boring, man.
This is like, well, I guess I could say it for the rest. It's like anti music.
Yes. It's like it has all of the qualifications that it is music, but it elicits none of the physical and emotional response that music does. Yeah, it's like
exactly.
Yeah. Oh man, it's like alien technology. This album is fucking cruel, horrible. Fucking hate it. Worst least favorite for me. I mean, fuck this album. It's gonna get bad. It's gonna get worse for Alex. It's gonna get worse for many people. Plenty horrible on here, but this is the one where it's like, this is not worth anything. I can't even.
That's just all these albums.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
On to the next one.
Also, no, before that, if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to do a little quick double check. This was produced by a Mr. Butch Vig. Oh, lovely.
Butch. Butchy baby.
Butchy boy, what are you doing?
Also, waste of an album cover. Album cover is objectively fucking cool, and this wasted.
It is a cool album cover, yeah. I couldn't have guessed that it was going to be as bad as it is. Jesus H. Christ,
no one could really.
Yeah. So that's my worst and least favorite. Onward and downward for this band, I suppose. So now we're on to the last album before their big hiatus, or one of their big hiatuses. They take quite a few years in between albums, believe it or not, from this point on.
Which is fucking crazy. Imagine they never stopped.
Dude, nuts. This is 1998's Candy from a Stranger.
I looked up the producer for this album. He has produced the Killing Joke album.
No fucking way, dude.
I swear.
Honestly, I think this intro is better than anything off the last album.
Yes, it does. It does fare a little better.
If the day wants to begin, you can let the day in. If the darkness has no
Yeah, it's just more alternative.
Yeah.
At this point, we're not going to get any surprises. This, I wouldn't say is... Like, this song, I do like more than anything off the last album. I think it's fine. It's got a great intro. It returns to that intro at a different point in the song, but not for very long. But, yeah, it's still a disappointment because that opening riff should have been, I think, the hook for the whole song. And that would have been, I think, a very good song. Of course, it only returns once more in the whole song, and it's basically what you heard. I think this is actually better than the last album, of course, but not nearly as horrific as we're going to get in the next, 4 or 5 albums. Like, this is bad, but I don't think it's quite as bad.
Also, I don't know if I'm indoctrinated or this grasping at straws here. Is Lies of Hate a good song?
You know what? It's the best song on the album.
We're giving it. Yeah, we're giving it up for that song.
Yes, it's honestly one of the coolest things. It has a very cool kind of bendy main riff. It's really bitter and heavy. It's still alternative, but it is. You know what? Good song. Lies of Hate is a good song.
Let's not muddy the waters here. It's a good song.
Yeah.
You know what drives me crazy is See You Later, because there's all these different individual elements I like, but they come together to make a shitty ass Voltron song. It's just not a good song.
What are the elements you like?
The guitar, the production, it's all. When I describe what they are individually, it's like, okay, that sounds cool and this sounds cool, but then you hear the song and it's just like, no, it's not.
It's a clean emotional rocker, but completely forgettable. There's gonna be a lot of that kind of song.
We've entered the stage that I've only my marked men stage, where sometimes all I got is jokes like Close. That song's about coming, right? It has to be about coming.
Is it really?
I don't know. I don't fucking know.
It's got acoustic guitars and banjos, and it's not good. It stinks. It's I like there's a little short guitar harmony solo that I think, that's a cute, but it's just bad. It's we're back to the acoustic 90s dad rock kind of stuff. It's boy.
On No Time for Waiting, they sing, "You don't understand how I'm feeling," and that's me telling people I listen to their entire discography.
They have no idea. People will never understand, because
they will call us madmen.
If they only knew, really. No Time for Waiting. It doesn't get much more pop rock than that song. There's I think I like one lead guitar line on the whole song. Which is probably not the most redeeming thing in the world. Blood into Wine, another acoustic ballad. Jesus Christ, man, I'm so done with these acoustic ballads.
It's this shitty Rolling Stones.
Yeah, it's got that Southern Stones kind of thing to it. It's got the harmonicas and slide guitar, but it's fucking more pop on Dragging the Lake. I kind of like the pre-chorus, but that's not much.
How do you make a song about finding dead bodies so boring? They figured out a way. New York Blackout, you get some twangy country elements, but it's the fucking same as everything else.
Yes, it is the same as everything else. It's bad. You
know what other song pissed me off is Cradle Chain, because it starts off so fucking cool.
Yeah.
And then he starts singing, and then it's unforgivable.
I'll take it. Unforgivable 4. I like it. I don't like it. I will take it.
Okay, because you'll take it. Take it.
It feels a bit different. I was like, okay, at least it feels different. It opens with the kind of edgy Western alternative, like dark edgy Western alternative. It's kind of basically what it is. Compared to the rest, fine. But yeah, it's not like them at this point. For the rest of the albums, when they try something even marginally different, so minuscule of a difference that for most bands will be like, yeah, that was nothing. For this band, like, oh, thank God they're doing something different. They're doing something kind of different. That's how samey this shit gets. So yeah, because of Lies of Hate, because of like the parts of Cradle Chain that I like, because of the opener Creatures of Habit, and even I Will Still Be Laughing, the track 2, I'm fine with it. It's not like, I mean, it's a song that's been written before, but I just don't mind it. Like, these are not gonna change your life. These are not amazing songs, but god damn it, it saved it. It just saved the album from being a piece of horrible, irredeemable trash. And I can't say that about most of the albums following this, and I can't say about the previous album, of course.
It's real dark after this. It's gonna get fucking dark.
It's gonna get very, very bad. I hope you all are ready for some negativity.
Because they stopped making music for almost a decade. I'd argue they should have just stopped making music.
Honestly, yeah. It's the fact that, like, I don't get it, because I get, having a little bit of momentum after winning a Grammy. I get the momentum argument, but once you put out following that immediately, 2 really bad albums, 1 really bad album, where do you keep getting like
the juice, pun intended?
I think they got some fucking donors, some evil doing donors that are like, hey, why don't you just keep making music and make the world a worse place? Hell yeah.
It's just a scam. It's just a front, like all the stores in my hometown of Monterey Park, all those random Chinese businesses are just...
all fronts. They're all fronts.
They're all fronts. Yeah. Some of them have been in business for 30 years. I don't know how. I don't know what they fucking do.
They sell. Yeah, good luck finding out. Crazy town. Nice town. My hometown as well. Very, very cool, but crazy town. probably nice because of all this fucking all the drug deals and shady laundering schemes. But the piece from Trouser Press, I'm curious because it gave a pretty fair representation of the third album. I wonder what it's saying about this album. It says there are some worthy songs on Candy from a Stranger, I Will Still Be Laughing, See You Later, and Dragging the Lake among them. Gonna have to, respectfully disagree. But Rolling Stones veteran Chris Kimsey's skill production relieves the band of whatever sense of adventure remained in its music. I'm not gonna disagree.
Yeah.
Soul Asylum here is a ghost of itself, a cleaned up, straightened out, held down, scaled back version that sounds like the real thing, but never dares anything that wouldn't be completely palatable to the poobahs of radio who shrug anyway. Perner's singing especially is toxically careful. So I'm going to go ahead and say, right on, because this is, now we have a hefty gap. What is that? 8-year gap? And I was expecting some sort of shift. 8 years is not, for a band that has been consistent as shit since the early mid 80s.
Do some self-reflection, be like, hey, remember the good old days when we played stuff that made people feel things?
Yeah, maybe like, I've been wanting to play around with this kind of thing. I've been wanting to try something else. Well, you're in luck, folks. He's playing the same shit. This is 2000.
No. This is worse. This is like cringe inducing, and I'll get into it.
This is 2006, ironically titled The Silver Lining.
There's none. The bar is hell. It's not in hell. The bar is hell.
It has certainly felt like hell listening to
this fucking song. This sounds like someone used AI to make a fucking generic motivational song for a Christian movie.
Yeah. Oh, dude, the Christian rock comparisons, get ready, buddy. They're all over these albums.
And like there's a and there's lyrics but did you know that this was chosen by ESPN for their college football coverage in 2006?
It sounds like it. It fucking sounds like it.
College football players are probably stupid and date rapists, but they deserve better.
Some of them are nice guys that are just not too bright. I met a couple of them.
Some are fine. It's a big pool.
Yeah.
You know whose life has gone on too long is this band's.
I was going to say mine for having listened to this.
You still have stuff to live for, though.
But the world feels darker now, having listened to these. So the production has definitely gotten a boost. He's got heavily compressed vocals. You could hear his age. I'm not going to put on any more of this fucking song. It stinks. This album stinks. Fuck this band.
This is Worsley's favorite.
Well, it is terrible. I mean, really terrible. I'm not going to
really
argue with
bad.
that.
It's really bad. The lyrics are the most cringe-inducing out of their whole discography.
Please tell. Do tell.
There will be some cringe-inducing lyrics throughout. This is from like here on out. So that song, I said my feelings. The second song, did you actually write a fucking song about someone going to like modern war and how he misses his fucking wife? Like, this is bullshit, horseshit pandering to like middle America that like I don't even think Disturbed does, or like Three Doors Down. Like that, the subject of the song is so fucking egregious to me.
Didn't even catch the subject. I was too busy pulling my hair out by how fucking wimpy and bouncy the music is. I mean, Jesus Christ. It is really unlistenable.
I had to get something, and I listened to music where people scream and growl, so this was very easy for me to be like, oh, that's what he's singing about.
Okay, fair enough. For that song, there's literally one riff around 2 minutes in that I don't hate. It ends after 2 bars. It's literally 2 bars long.
It's so specific.
It's so specific, and that's where we had to. I mean, that's where I ended up at. Like, oh, I'm grasping at the tiniest of straws. How the world they keep writing the same songs over and over again is almost impressive, because Crazy Mixed Up World is, I mean, the same goddamn song.
Let me tell you something, Mike. Someone's always got a gun, and it's always about the money. That's how you keep writing these songs.
Is that a lyric, or is that literally?
No, they sing that. They sing
fun.
that.
Oh, very, very insightful.
These lyrics are so bad. I think Taylor Swift listened to this album for her Tortured Poets Society album. Like, it's just, man, on the 4th track, I was like, I have to be done with this album. Like, it's almost over, right? Please, I knew it wasn't, and I'm like, this is only the 4th fucking song.
Dude, it's funny. One of the reasons I ended up giving Let Your Dim Light Shine worse is because first time listening to it, first track, I thought I was listening to the whole album for 20 minutes. That kind of like time warping is how you know. All is well, the track 4 you're talking about, I mean, really, it's like faster than the other previous tracks. But aside from that, the same song, there's so little distinction here. I mean, fuck, man.
In this podcast history, I've advocated for the existence of so many bad albums just to like have a point of reference to be like, hey, it exists. It probably don't. This album, I actually like, if we did our worst album episode now, this album is like, it might be number 1 for me.
Fuck.
I think this album could disappear off the face of the fucking earth, and no one, absolutely no one would fucking care.
I think I would say that about many of these albums. Honestly, a lot of things that kept me from giving them more was like maybe one song that I didn't hate. The one song I don't hate on this album is Slowly Rising. It's got these simple guitar leads that I think like, all right, those are fine. I don't hate the song. I'm not in hell with the song. Also, it's the second to last track. So it's really, it is, everything before that is really like torture. So it could just be an illusion that it's still a bad song, just surrounded by so much garbage that it seems better.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's the most memorable song, but it's still not good.
Was it, Busting Desire? I swear, dude, that chorus has the same vocal hook as Cher's Do You Believe in Life After Love, or whatever the hell the song is called.
That's a better song.
Well, of course, it's a better song. It's a goddamn classic, but it is still a shitty song. The verse is like this cheesy hard rock shit. What you need, more wimpy bullshit. By the time Standing Water came on, I wanted to shoot myself. My lady friend called it CVS rock, and I'm like, yes, that is exactly It's shit you hear in a fucking CVS.
To lighten up the mood the other day, I made a post where I said, Sting's If I Ever Lose My Faith in You is a first ballot all-timer grocery store CVS song, because I have never, ever heard that song outside of those settings.
It's like it was like they bought the rights to use it exclusively, like, or if it was written for grocery stores or something.
But I could tell Sting did not write. It's called, first of all, it's called If I Ever Lose My Faith. It's obviously meant to be very fucking deep, because also it's fucking Sting. Fuck that guy.
He does
not the wrestler though.
No, the wrestler's fine. The bass player is the.
Anyway, so I just wanted to talk about that while we're talking about CVS music.
Oh yeah,
If I Ever Lose My Faith in You will get stuck in your head, unlike anything on here. So.
Nothing will get stuck in your head on this album. Holy shit!
Fucking the worst. Bottom of the barrel. I will fight someone if they like this song. Fearless Leader.
Oh, it was originally a secret track, but it's now the closer. It's bad. It's real bad.
It has youth pasture energy of pulling up a chair, turning it around so the back is facing you, and then he sits on it.
Yeah, let's rap,
and
kid.
goes, let's rap. You know who else was a hippie? Jesus.
Yep. Stinks.
And those are actual lyrics.
Oh, you know what? Yeah. Oh my God. It fucking sucks. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, there's so the Christian rock stuff really hit me hard on Oxygen. I mean, good God Almighty. That's like really one of the most offensive forms of music for me is Christian rock. Like, I don't give a fuck about, if you had the same lyrics, but the music was rad, I would be like, all right, those are annoying lyrics, but God damn it, Cook's Galore. I find Christian rock to be one of the most offensive, horrific genres of music musically. And this is what it's become. It's just Christian rock without the Christian lyrics.
Yeah. And, plenty of artists sing about God. If it's a good song, it's a good song.
Gives a fuck. Don't give a fuck at all. Yeah. Sing about what you want. There's plenty of things I don't agree with in music, but what I don't agree with the most is how it feels in my soul. This goddamn sounds
crushing.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Baffling, crazy, terrible, horrible. Alex's worst, least favorite. And yeah, there's going to be no fight put up here. Miserable. Let's move on because we got so much.
Please.
This is a long episode. We're in hell already.
I didn't hit my 2-hour mark. Fuck. Okay, let's go.
Let's go. This is 6 years later. We got at least like 6-year gaps between all these albums. Now, big gaps.
And not one shred of self-reflection was given.
Not a one. So this is.
We'll say the bass players died.
Yes, that sucks. But moving on. Holy shit.
It was for the better.
He's in a better place now. Definitely.
He absolutely is. Because
Soul Asylum with Dave Pern.
Fuck. That's the clip, isn't it? That's the clip.
No. Oh, shit. But this is 2012's Delayed Reaction.
If this band was a dog, I'd take them out back and fucking shoot them.
It would be for its best interest.
On a plan to sell the planet. Walk, and he talks the talk. For half the front, you can have it. For every answer,
Oh, jeez.
there are
Christ, man, this fucking blows.
It's real bad.
I wonder why our podcast isn't super popular. Listen to like, fuck this stupid ass song, fucking pussies.
And there's no reason to do this in over 2 hours. Who is still listening to us? Also, bless you. Holy fuck.
Holy fuck indeed. So I will start out with a positive. I would say the only positive thing about this album is that it is 36 minutes, 35 minutes, 30, whatever.
Yes.
It is the shortest album isn't maybe the entire discography, the shortest album. But aside from that, there is nothing more to be gained from this band. You can listen to every album after this or none, and you will get the same experience. If you just heard from that, for what you just heard, that's everything from here on out. I mean,
complete outlier, and I think it's just a result of throwing shit on the wall, and like something's got to be good, right? I should have stayed in bed.
Oh, really? I was thinking Cruel Intentions. Look at that. Hey, maybe you should listen to this album. There's some variability there.
Oh, you know what? This has got 2 good songs.
Look at that. Look at that.
I hate to say it. Let's start off nice. Cruel Intentions, that's the greatest song they've recorded in forever. It's like some weird loungy jazz pop music that like Mike Patton would do.
Yep, easy listening. It is like Mike Patton, easy listening, upright bass and everything. Not bad. It's novel.
And then I Should Have Stayed in Bed is also great. I like how moody it is, and the string section is just actually warranted. I
like the verses. I think I found them at this point in the discography, it's surprisingly dark. The band doesn't really do anything dark anymore. Yep. So I think the choruses kind of stink though. So it ended up kind of ruining it for me, but it has elements in there, has merit in there. Everything else.
Oh
boy, it is very bad. I called Into the Light, Breaking Horses. It's like porridge music. It's about as tasteless and watery and gross as
I want to know who is asking for this album. No one. Absolutely no one.
You could say that about pretty much every single one after this, including this one.
Streets is crazy because it sounds like a Blink 182 B-side, and I hate Blink 182.
You're saying Blink 182?
Yeah. I know they're not called that. I just think it's funny. To call them that.
Blink 182, 18-2. I like that. I like it better.
I just think it's funny to not call them by their preferred
their
name.
Christian name. Yeah. No, it sucks.
You know what I've never done in the history of this podcast? I've never listened to songs and written no comment.
Until
By the Way and Pipe Dream.
They might as well be the same song.
What could be said? Going off your porridge comment.
Dude, it's funny because for Pipe Dream, I literally wrote, there's nothing else to say about any of these songs. Like,
hell yeah.
What else can you put? You're not going to dissect, and there's nothing to dissect. It's about as faceless as it gets. For By the Way, I just wrote an insult saying this guy can't write an interesting song to save his life. I mean, it's not even describing the song.
Yeah, I would never thought would say Anthony Kiedis is an excellent songwriter, but
I would never go as far as to say
I'll listen to the Red Hot Chili Peppers, By the Way, a million times over this, By the Way.
Yeah, even though I really do hate them, this is like, man, this is a different level of shit, man. Like, this is gnarly. This is so bad. I mean, Let's All Kill Each Other is faster, I guess, but at this point, I'm getting so angry. I could see in my notes how angry I am. I wrote, and it's trash, just like every other album from this terrible band. So I'm not even like taking real notes at this point. I'm just in hell.
I agree with the sentiment, but not the delivery.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. The Juice sucks. It sucks. Making Manhattan is more garbage. I mean, Jesus.
The Juice, that's about O.J. Simpson, right?
I hope so. That's the only Juice I recognize. R.I.P. But
if they wrote a song in 2012 about how OJ is actually innocent, that'd be fucking hilarious.
Why the hell not? You know what? Fuck it. We need something to stir something up. Oh, jeez. Yeah, it's really, it's kind of just unbelievable how awful this band is right now. I mean, fuck, it's just
continues to be.
Yeah, let's move on. We got a few more. Yep. We have
let's do these
three more
real fast.
3 more. There's not going to be that much more to dive into. I mean, the next 2 albums specifically are going to be what we just heard twice.
We got jokes and anger. That's all we got left.
Pretty much. Yeah. I guess, yeah, I'll intro the fucking thing, but whatever. And what's the gap here? Another 4 years. So this is 4 years later. Like
that seems to be like their MO now.
Yeah.
They take 4 years off.
They do 4 years. Yeah.
Oh man. I was going to make a joke and I threw it on the floor. But like, yeah, we can't do a discography like this election year, and I'm not doing a fucking loose ends election year when they inevitably be put out. These all line up. These are all fucking election years.
Oh shit, they are. Well, except for not the silver lining, but delay reaction onward. Yeah, they're all election years.
I'm not 4 years. I'm not fucking doing a band like this or whatever their next album is, because I bet you if the man is alive, if any of us are still alive, he will record another album in 4 years. And
believe me, he is not working hard on the writing process right now for the next album. He is not. I would wager to guess.
Well, he just put out the new one. He's got some time.
Here we go.
Sorry.
This is, Jesus Christ, 2016's Change of Fortune. What an ironic title.
There's a lot of irony.
It hurts me, man.
These lyrics,
hurts me to hear this production.
You know what's crazy is this producer produced Andrew WK's I Get Wet.
A much more fun artist there.
This guy's just saying random words in this song. What is the purpose of this? What, you can't work out to this. What the fuck is this for? You can't do anything.
You can't do. If you're driving to this, I'm gonna rear end you. I don't know what else to say.
All right,
you get the idea. You've heard the song.
Yeah.
You know what it's doing. You know where it's gonna go. It's gonna like emotional alt rock. It's what it is. That's, I mean, fuck. This album sucks. Oh, they all sucked.
Help It is very very Zeppelin-y.
Yeah, the main riff honestly kind of reminds me of Shellac. Weirdly enough.
I went Zeppelin, you went Shellac.
What?
I went Zeppelin, you went Shellac.
Yeah. I would say it's genuinely better than the garbage that they usually do for the past 4 or 5 albums, but I'm never gonna go back to it. I kind of like the way Dave's voice sounds on it the most.
Not a good
Lots
song.
Of screaming, a lot of letting loose.
Not a good song, but you know what I'll take in this shitty world we live in. Make it real. I don't know what's going on there.
Really?
But
it's a weird one.
There's robot guitar riffs and robot vocals, so good enough.
It's got auto-tune vocals. And big butt rock main riff.
Yeah.
But I will give you that the arrangements are wildly more interesting than anything they've done in a while. Riffs fucking suck. I think the riffs stink, but I think the arrangements are interesting.
Yeah.
The drums as well. Drums are not bad.
Dealing trippy enough that I'll sure, whatever. Same category as Make It Real.
Lots of effects, bendy notes. I don't like it. I think the song is pretty bad, but the chorus riff could be worse. I'll say that.
That's
as
the
a
nicest,
whole, I don't like it.
That's the nicest thing we're gonna say about this band is they could be worse. They have not Tom Petty'd in a while, so they go back to Tom Pettying on Don't Bother Me.
I wrote that as bubblegum bullshit. Like they do that quite a bit and it's just over the top happy and bubbly and shitty.
I will say Morgan's dog made me laugh because I made that comment about how if the band was a dog, I would take it out back and shoot it. And now we have a song about taking a dog out back and shooting it. Like,
oh, lovely. Wonderful.
Holy shit. Also, second Dead Dog song. This fucking weird.
Dude, the title track is some smash mouth bullshit, man.
No,
They got the Hammond organs, they got the hand claps, the groovy beat, and the raspy vocals. That's some Smash Mouth shit right there.
No, Smash Mouth is way better. Way better. I'm not even joking. That's a good ass song. Fucking. Sorry, I had to defend Smash Mouth real quick.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
You got some strings on Ladies Man, but it's still like that's pretty much one of the few things I'll give this album. Like, okay, well the strings are well produced, but I don't like I don't like anything about the song. It's just cheesy commercial music. And you get
it should have been about Tim Meadows is what that should have been about.
Ooh, much more sensual, much more sexy. Yeah, I like the instrumentation on the intro and verses of Moonshine, but I mean, the song's written like shit, so who cares? I mean, I get why someone could like a song like that, but it's really hard. Yeah.
There's a lot of dark shit on this album. I would expect it to be darker, but it's fucking not.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm just losing my mind with rage and hatred, possibly. But the song When I See You, I just felt like Bono was singing at me, and I got just so disgusted. Like,
speaking very of
impassioned and annoying.
Earlier, where you said they were like very firmly an alternative band, and there's better you could. And I was like, and I probably don't even like those bands. I was thinking about U2.
Yeah, I don't like U2 at all, but they are a better alternative band than Soul Asylum.
They have Bloody Sunday, at least.
Bloody Sunday, yeah. And Joshua Tree is like the one people like a lot. I don't really like any of them, but I get it.
I meant
the
for
song
me.
You mean for you,
me personally, like that. That's the one. My U2 song.
If you get one, I'm sure there's like one song or a couple songs that I'm okay with, but yeah, overall, the production is even cleaner. It's even thicker. There are a couple moments.
I think it's the same guy.
Is it really Chris Kimsey? No, sorry, I'm thinking of I'm on the wrong album. What's his name?
John Fields. John Fields, yeah. John Fields, yeah.
Yeah, it's good production, but it's also bad production. It's so good that it's shitty. Like really, really good production is only good if they're utilizing it with good choices. When you're playing this, fuck off, man. If this album sounded like shit, I would think it's way more interesting because there'd be a character to it. When it's this perfect and cleaned up, you're hearing exactly what it is, and what it is not good.
Nothing.
So now we're on to the next 4 years later. We're going to save a little bit of time and tell you already know what this sounds like. I'm going to leave as little of this intro song as possible because what more are we gaining from this fucking episode? I'm going to pull my hair out. This is 2020's Hurry Up and Wait.
Ironic.
Everyone's waiting to see you.
Get the fuck out of here. Yeah.
Imagine being quarantined in 2020 and you listen to this album. Like that's what you're doing.
Well, if we were introduced to this band earlier, that would have been us. We did that for other bands. Come on. You can't like this. You can't like this. Dude, it sucks already. It sucks.
Shitty Foo Fighters.
And Foo Fighters are already shitty, man. Like for the most part, they have some good stuff. I really don't like this band.
I'll defend them.
I'll defend parts of them, but it's far cry from like the first album. I would say.
Yeah, got it pretty good for this era. It could be worse. That's the.
Yeah, I suppose so.
A song called "Make Her Laugh." I wrote. More like Make Me Cry.
It's really more poppy acoustic bullshit. Yeah.
Even if you're an old man, who the fuck writes a song called Busy Signal in 2020.
Busy signals. Wait,
They're like non-existent now, right? You just go
you mean
to
the phone busy? Oh yeah,
because
that's pretty old.
They play the sound on the song, Mike.
I didn't even fucking put it together. I haven't heard it in so long. I've heard it since I was a kid. Maybe early teenager. Yeah. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Busy signals. Who's a landline anymore? Honestly,
Dave.
Dave. Yeah. Perner.
Yeah.
For sure.
Also, I'm, not saying Soul Asylum invented COVID, but there's too many lyrics on here about being like locked up and alone by yourself, where I think he did manufacture it.
He probably did it. Let's just he's just hang him up by his feet and start throwing shit at him. Like, there's just another like we're just in the most overproduced, fucking irredeemable YouTube bullshit, like Social Butterfly. Come on, man. What the fuck is this? What are you doing to me, man? At this point, anyone could, logically and rightfully so, make the argument, it's your fucking problem. Stop listening to the fucking albums. I know. All right. I know. We shouldn't be listening. We shouldn't be. This is not for us. But holy crap, we did. And
if we knew this dude's credit card wasn't going through for.
Exactly. If I would have known his credit card wasn't going through, I would not have done this shit. You better believe I'm checking it every single time from now on.
Hell yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Man, Dead Letter really. Dead Letter's so bad and wants to be like this epic medieval song. I threw on Buckingham Green this to like cleanse my palate.
Yeah, it's trying to channel some folk. It's not very good. I'd say it's better than some of the other songs, but it's still pretty generic. Landmines is the only one I'll give it to, just for the drums and guitar leads and like the vibe shift. It's like the only one that kind of it gives you some rock and roll kind of energy, whereas the other songs are all the same alternative bullshit. I
was going to say Freezer Burn. Freezer Burn could be worse.
It's got some subtle guitar harmonies at the end that are nice, but I wouldn't say it could save the song.
And then to close me out here, unless you have other thoughts, cringy lyrics on here. Silent treatment. She said she was a mermaid. She said she loved horses. What the fuck are we? What, are you 9? What?
Could be in high school. Hey, don't know. Don't know.
Fucking
don't know.
McConaughey over here. And then hopped up feeling drugs are a substitute for love, and love is a substitute for drugs. Go fuck yourself.
Hey, hold on. Have you ever thought about that though? Hey, just
go fuck yourself.
The effect that love has on the human body is kind of similar to what drugs do. If you think about it, Alex.
Yes, Roxy Music told me this, and they did it in a catchy, fun way.
I think I might start doing some drugs, Alex. I don't know about you.
Hell yeah.
Hopped up feeling. It's like it's trying to be punk, but it's a joke. It's complete trash. It's man. There's like a breakdown in the middle with like this kind of swirling production, but it's like it's doing this psychedelic production thing where the riffs are just the most bland, boring bullshit during that whole section. It's just
bland, boring bullshit. That's their word.
Yeah. And they close it out with silly things, which is just nauseating, more happy poppy shit. I mean, I hate it. Yeah. It's like at this point, they've been so consistently terrible for so long that I lost track of time. I couldn't really I couldn't recall certain things. Like
you were just you were this in the Shining hotel room. You've always been here, but you've never left.
I've always been the caretaker, Alex. I've always been the caretaker. It's so funny because I guess if you were listening to these albums many times, you can probably pinpoint the personality of the album and the feel of it. But really, the entire 2000s era, from 2006 onward, up to this point, ending at this album, all 6 of these albums, like 4 of these albums, they all have the same feel. They might as well be, aside from slight production changes, songwriting wise and mood wise and energy wise, they might as well be the same album. It's crazy.
Except that shitty Christian rock one was.
There's a couple of these Christian rock songs that are really bad.
personally was the clear. Anyways, we got one more.
Yes, we have one more. This is the one that just came out. So, hey, Soul Asylum just came out with a new album. Here's a episode of Soul Asylum. Hey, current.
I'm actually, it makes my year endless.
That would be certainly something. Oh, boy. But we are finally at the end of our very arduous and very lengthy journey. Good God Almighty. And here it is. The last album for the next 4 years. This is 2024's Slowly But Surely. And now we got lo-fi production and fucking James Williamson ass solos.
I wrote blickety blam old man guitar shredding.
Yeah. Oh well, not bad. I found this to be refreshingly different because they're now doing garage rock. I don't love garage rock unless it's like Stooges or Nuggets. But it's different. It's different than the alternative shit that we just dealt with for 30 years.
Still hate it.
Yeah.
I fucked up somehow.
Fucked up somehow.
I dug my own grave.
So, yeah. This is like the biggest stylistic change that they've had in 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
they're bringing some energy. It doesn't pay off, but there's some energy.
This is, out of everything that we've talked about since Grave Dancers Union, I think it's the best album since Grave Dancers Union. I think it's still a very bad album, but so one, they've officially, for this album, ditched clean production. They're going lo-fi. They're going garage rock. That muffled ass kick drum that you're hearing right now, that's on the whole album. Everything sounds like that, muffled and kind of shitty, and it's better. It is automatically better because there's something characteristic about the way it's recorded, and it sounds unique. The songs are pretty just bland, by the numbers garage rock. There's really nothing great on here at all.
Just gonna give it up for Trying, man.
Trying, really? You like that one?
Yeah. I don't love it, but I like it.
I found it to be some goofy, cheesy bullshit with those funky, affected vocals. Not for me. What I will give it up for is, honestly, a couple songs. I don't mind the opener because it was refreshing. Freeloader is got a tinge of 60s in there, which is largely in part because of the particular distorted guitar tones that they're using, which is fine. It's not great, but I don't hate it. And Trial by Fire is unremarkable, but it is not as bad as usual. That's what I'll give it.
Trial by Fire, no juice. No juice on that.
No, it's no Trial by Fire by Testament, I'll tell you that.
No. And then, we got the return of is he like religious or is he just commenting on religious? I don't really want to know. It's a hypothetical question. You got Wait on the Lord. Yeah. The one good thing about that is it's got a kooky tremolo guitar main riff, which is cute. I think the song blows, but it's all right. It's got a cute little guitar line. I think Freak Accident is atrociously shitty. It's wimpy alt rock with a garage rock solo. I just wrote "Oh Go Fuck Yourself," so that's
same idea. You Don't Know Me is another extremely boring ballad.
They do have a fake out on here. If you want it back, start off really cool, and then it got horrible. Yeah, it's rough. It's rough, man. Making Plans is another, like, where it's clearly they're trying to make a garage rock album, but really, it's garage rock is very simple. I mean, unless you do have fun with it or do something with it, like generally, it's a very simple thing. So the fact that like their big stylistic change, their big bold next step is to go for an extremely simple genre. It's like that's what you had. The same people who made the fucking first two albums, the same dude who wrote these crazy ass, genuinely engaging songs, his big move in 2024 is to make a garage rock album. What the fuck, man? Man. Ugh.
What do you think of Sucker Maker?
I fucking hate. I hate the last 3 songs are so bad. I don't know if I blacked out, but I like could remember nothing about them, so I had to like re-listen.
Oh wow, dude!
I was so mad at myself. I was like, why did I do that? Why did I do that? I can't tell you anything about them, but now I have to listen to them again.
I'll tell you one thing about the closer High and Dry. You cited that song from a few albums ago as Zeppelin.
Yeah.
This song I feel is just a straight Zeppelin ripoff. Straight the drum the drum sound and choices are especially obvious, but it's like it feels like a fucking knockoff Zeppelin song.
Yeah. I don't find it as charming as whatever I said sounded like Zeppelin. Can't help it. Off Change of Fortune. Not as charming as that one, but I do agree with you that they are channeling Zeppelin to a very poor effect.
Yeah. So as much as I appreciate that the production is different and it's an interesting production and that they're trying a different sort of genre, but it feels like a gimmick. It feels like he got bored slightly with what he was doing for the past 25 to 30 years and decided to just pivot in the most inconsequential way possible. This is the best production in a while, the most interesting production in a while, but the songs still blow.
Well, I've been bored and frustrated for the past 2 hours and 30 minutes. So
this has been yet another long episode, and guess what? Maybe we're fucking done.
We're done. It'll probably be a little shorter once you edit. But
it'll be a little short. It'll be like 220 or something, maybe 215. Fucking A, man. Yeah, this is the hardest discography because for big giant 10 plus album discographies that those are usually
now we just break them up.
Well, yeah, we'll break them up if it's a band we really want to like respect and pay attention to.
Get in the weeds.
It's been so long since the last time this happened. Was it Thrice where it's like, oh, I had to change the entire format of the show because it was so bad and it fucked us up. So Thrice is a horrible band, and it made me think like, you know what? We need 2 weeks for full discographies now. We can't do this anymore. And this is like, we need more money. Fuck this. This is insane.
We do need more money. I feel like every year we make a small little growth.
Yeah.
So maybe 2025 more money. I hope so. I don't know what's next for us. I don't know.
Don't know.
But I say that every year. I would never thought we get interviews or albums early. So
we're very grateful for that, and grateful for all the patrons, the ones whose credit cards work. We still like you, Patrick. Just fucking goddamn that one hurt. That's realizing that like 7-8 albums in, I'm like, oh no, I can't stop now.
Skating on thin ice, buddy.
It did make for, I bet, a very entertaining episode for the people who do like us, because holy hell, they seem to like when we hate bands. We don't like that, but they do.
Yeah, and we don't want Soul Asylum to have shitty albums.
No, why would we want to be in this position where we're listening to hours upon hours of horrible music? We hate it. It's hell. Oh, Jesus. But we are done. Thank Christ. Recap.
I forgot. Best personal favorite, Made to Be Broken. And then worst, least favorite, The Silver Lining. Get the fuck out of here with your Christian shit pandering to middle America. Holy fuck.
And for me, the first album, Say What You Will. So good, so interesting, so fun. Unique album even for 1984 standards. So good. Best personal favorite. And Let Your Dim Light Shine and Take a Shit All Over Itself. Fucking worst, least favorite, horrible. I mean, goddamn, the beginning of the worst chunk of albums I've listened to in a long time.
I agree. Like I said, hands down some of the worst shit we've ever listened to.
Yes, easily some of the worst things we've ever listened to. In 5 years of doing this, Soul Asylum is literally one of the worst bands we've ever covered. It's crazy.
It's made me reevaluate my life with bands that I hate, like Neutral Milk Hotel.
Yeah. Check out that episode. Anyway, thank you so much for listening and watching and hanging out. thanks, I guess, to Patrick for fucking making us do this. Jesus Christ. Yeah. And if you want to help us out and you support us, like the video for some reason, subscribe, talk some shit in the comments. Tell us why Soul Asylum isn't the worst band that we've heard in the past 2 years. Tell us why we're wrong. By all means, make a case. I dare you. I'm just gonna
double dog dare you.
Double dog dare you. There we go. You can follow me on all social media at PanderMonkey and Alex on Instagram at
Every Album Alex. And I'm gonna say, because I've been enjoying it, follow me at Blue Sky at Octatron3030. It's crazy being on a social media website where you're not being advertised to, and who you want to follow is in your feed. It's very refreshing over there. So, and let me know you're a fan, so I follow you back. Otherwise, I'll just think you're rando. But yeah,
there we go. And be sure to follow our history guy Tom Osman at Tom Osman Sounds on all social media, as well as TomOsmanSounds.com for all his music and his podcast, Whatever Comes Next, where he interviews a bunch of indie musicians, and it's very interesting and insightful and ground level stuff. Very cool. And
unlike this.
And most importantly, for the love of God, join the Patreon for Christ's sake. Help us out. Patreon.com/everyalbumever. You get bonus episodes, 2 bonus episodes a month. You get to see our schedules in advance. You get to vote on polls to decide what to cover next. You get to join the Discord, be a part of the community, suggest brand new albums from, well, this year is pretty much done, but when a new album comes out, put it on our radar. We'll do a singles episode on it. And if you're tier 2, then you can suggest a full discography, preferably not one like this, but this happens from time to time. Tier 2 gets to suggest full discographies, and tier 2 also can suggest bonus episodes. So any album from anywhere, and we'll do Patreon bonus episodes on it. So there's lots of good stuff there. Go there, do that, please. Thank you. Oh boy. Oh God. Okay. Closing it out. Final song. Obviously, we're going to have to go way back into the 80s for this, but what are you feeling, if anything?
There's one song only. Well, no, there's probably a few. Another World, Another Day for me, though.
All right. You know what? Fuck it. I got no problem. I had no problem with that.
I'm from Minnesota. I get to do it.
You know what? No arguments there. So thank you so much for listening and watching. See ya.